Morning, folks. I deliberately, as you know, those three that watch these, I deliberately left it till the day after the night before. Sheffield United 3, Chelsea 0 until I did this, and I thought sleep on it, think about what positives you can get out of that game, and I've slept on it, and I can't think of any positives. I cannot think of any positives out of that yesterday. This will be brief today. It'll be brief. Not very many times since 1968, when I first started supporting Chelsea in a way where it was sort of my decision. Not many times since 1968 have I actually been ashamed of the team. But last night was one of those probably 10, 12 occasions in 50 odd years. So yeah, first of all, we know how Sheffield United set up. And by the way, praise to Sheffield United, not just for last night, but for the whole season. Chris Wilder's done a great job, and they've just shown that what being a team can achieve. We know their backs bomb forward, so I was expecting us to set up like for like, just to negate that really, because on paper Reece James and presumably Alonso the other side are better footballers. So yeah, I was expecting that, but we didn't. Now, we can talk tactics and we can talk formations, but you know what? If the blokes you entrust in your club's shirt badge don't turn up, then it doesn't matter what formation you're playing. So yeah, I don't know why Frankie didn't match him like for like. He must have had some idea. He's the top coach, I'm not, so I'll go with it. He sees them in training, I don't, so again I'll go with it. And he knows the injuries, and I don't, so again I'll go with it. But that last night, there are some elite Sunday League pub sides who would have given us a game. They might not have beaten us, but they've given us a game, at least for an hour. That's how bad it was. I bet Roman Abramovich was watching that and thinking, do you know what? If I put as much effort into my businesses as that lot have tonight, I'd still be selling rubber ducks from a market stall, and I'd still have some left. That's what Roman Abramovich would have been thinking. So, yeah, right. Arrizabalaga, you get what it says on the tin. I'm not going to blame him for any of the goals. The one where, the first one where he's going one way, has to turn the other way and puts his hand behind it. I saw Alisson at Liverpool in exactly the same situation a couple of weeks ago, and what he did, because he was going the wrong way, turned around, he punched it, and it went clear of the defenders in front of him. But we know Patsy Kepa pats it back out right in front of the guy to stick it in. Maybe being unfair, but I've seen one goalkeeper, he's going the wrong way, gets back right and punches it because he knows there's a crowded penalty area. And then I've seen another goalkeeper do what I thought he probably would in that situation. So yeah, but I'm not blaming Kepa. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He was going the wrong way, and the second one, the header, free header, Christensen asleep, as per usual. You know, we always say, oh, when he has a good game, which is about 1 in 4, by the way. Oh, what a great, lucky we stuck with him. Blah 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 blah. Not good enough. Not good enough. Zuma yesterday. Give Zuma his credit. He has 1 in 3 decent games. played well against Palace for the most part. Reece James hasn't been the Reece James we know. Yesterday, some of the crosses he put in that box were shocking. Shocking. Defensively, nothing to write home about. Keep getting caught out of position. On the other side, probably the man of the match, only because he wasn't as bad as the rest, was Dave. Aspie won my man of the match by default. Probably just edging Pulisic because Pulisic was trying. It just nothing was coming off for him, and he was just having one of them days, which is all right when the rest of your team have turned up, but they hadn't. So yeah, midfield obviously missing Kante like you wouldn't believe, and I think any of those people that said we should sell Kante should just be holding their head in shame at this moment. You don't know your football, in my humble opinion. Maybe I don't, but I think we really miss Kante, and we miss Gilmore from the fact that at least he passes forwards. Which we could have done with yesterday. So yeah, Jorginho, I thought that was probably one of his worst games in a Chelsea shirt. His passes generally went to them. He looked like a bloke who knew he was leaving and didn't need to put himself in a shop window because he's already agreed a deal. That's what he looked like. I'm being cynical, I know, but that's what he played like yesterday. Mount looked tired. A lot of his balls were clumsy. Didn't have the same work ethic he's had every single game this season up to last night. But he did look tired, and probably he is. Again, that's down to Frank. Maybe sort of Loftus-Cheek from the start might have been the way forward, or Kovacic if he's genuinely fit. Barkley. He tried. I'll give him his due. He was one of the probably three in the team that looked like they were genuinely trying. So I'm not going to slate Barkley too much. His passing was sloppy. He was back to getting caught in possession, and he made some dodgy final decisions. Willian looked like a man who'd been told that he wasn't getting a contract and couldn't give a, because he's been brilliant lately, and I've been one that's heralded him. In fact, I've always been a supporter of Willian, even when people have been criticising him on Twitter and these dafties on social media that bring up loads of stats about, oh, he's only got 4 goals this season, he's only got this, he's only had 3 assists. Well, look at the amount of times he's run back with a player and stopped an option of a pass that would have led to a goal. Look at the amount of times he's run back and made a tackle at the edge of his own penalty area. Don't throw them stats at me, do you? He's been a really good servant to the club. But last night, he was awful. Couple of, corners that probably still up in the air. Again, lethargic. One of the goals, where normally run back with the player, he just let him run. He just looked like a bloke that knew he was leaving the club. I don't know if his contract talks have broke down or something, but he looked a broken man. Pulisic, yeah, tried, but nothing worked for him last night. And Tammy Abraham, well, do you know what? He's a young man. He's coming back from a bad injury, so I'm not even going to comment. We looked a bit brighter when Giroud came on because we had 2 forwards. I was a bit surprised to see Pulisic going off when we've got 2 big forwards and we need to get quality ball into them. Don't quite understand that. I'm not going to go through the other substitutions. Rudiger, what he was doing with that last goal. He was running back. What did I gain from his performance last night? Probably that he can't kick with both feet. He's a one-footed defender. Because that was just shocking again. Set it up on a plate. You're right, you know. Maybe he slipped. I don't know. But yeah, we need two quality centre backs, a left back, and if Reece James doesn't pull his finger out, which I'm sure he will, I'm just feeling down this morning. And he's a young lad, but he needs to do a lot of work. I think he's a million miles away at this moment from that England team and challenging Trent Alexander-Arnold, because at the moment he's not at the races. So that's me. Sorry, folks. I know it's a bit downbeat, but that was awful, wasn't it? That was absolutely awful. When I look back at some of the big Chelsea wins where we beat the odds, you know, when we actually won the Champions League, you know, finally at the Allianz, and the team ethic involved in that, because we weren't the best side in that competition, and we won it. And other times, even going back to when I was a kid, you know, or a teenager, you know, when we beat Liverpool 4-2 in the FA Cup, I remember one year, and Rhodes Brown, I remember Rhodes Brown scoring from a long way. He ran from a long way out, and it seemed forever before it hit the back of the net. But the actual team, and people throwing their bodies in the way of stuff, you know, people, you know, your Mickey Droys, your John Bumsteads, you know, people like that, just throwing their bodies on the line to stop people scoring. David Speedy, you know, sort of constantly on at people. It was, you know, Chelsea's work ethic used to get us places, and last night there was no work ethic. So that's all I'm going to say, because I want to enjoy my Sunday. I want to have a nice Sunday roast and not think about Chelsea. Try and get that nightmare display out of my mind. And Monday morning I'll be much more positive. And listen. At the start of the season, I predicted we finished 10th. I've predicted we finished 10th, and I'd have been quite pleased as long as the youngsters got blooded. Now, Champions League football's out of our hands, really. If we win every single game, which I can't see happening, if we win every single game and the others win every single game, we don't qualify for the Champions League. But you know what? That table doesn't lie. I think Frank's still done a great job. I'm going to forget last night. I'm going to cross it off, because I think he's done a great job all season, and I think on the whole the players have really put a shift in. So that's going to be my mindset on Monday morning. And if we don't qualify for the Champions League, it's not the end of the world. No one's died. I'd love us to. I think it might put a kibosh on the Kai Havertz deal. But you know what? If we sign a goalkeeper and 2 central defenders instead, hard-working, quality ones, I'd even sign them 2 from Sheffield United, and I'd definitely sign a goalkeeper. But yeah, if que sera, whatever will be. And do you know what? Whoever's playing in that 11 next season, or whatever competitions we're in, I shall be supporting, and I hope you are too. Okay, have a good finish to your weekend, folks. Up to Chelsea.